Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's 7:15 a.m., April 23rd, and price of Bitcoin currently at 71.29. It looks like all we've really done over the last several hours is we poked up past my resistance marker right there around 7160, broke down just below my support marker around 7,097, and again, we've just climbed back between these two markers, okay? So really, I kind of hate to sound like it's going to go up or down, but here's really where we are. Okay, we're basically between this key resistance right here, where we had, this area right here. You can see it was pushed up beyond this resistance, so this was a deviation, pulled back down. Again, this was a resistance right there. So once this smashed up through it, you can see that that area got tested as resistance right there, resistance all through this choppy area, and then finally dropped down. Okay, so I could say a bit more confidently that this 7160 area is the key marker of resistance, just like this 7,097 marker is of resistance that comes from way back here. Okay, you could see that the reason we understand certain levels are support and resistance is because we could see the reaction of price around key levels. So you could see right here, right, that was resistance right there. It was resistance right there, but ripped through it, right, all the way up here, support, support, and then finally smashed through again. Use that as resistance. Even though it climbed up just above it, smashed down again, right? So we could say with more confidence that 7,097 is a key area, which is a SR level, support resistance level, and then 7,060 or 7,160 for the same reasons I showed you earlier, which is resistance right there, deviation resistance, resistance, support, all through this. This was, even though it pushed up past it a little bit, got broken, and then used that 7,097 as resistance and then broke down. So where we are right now is really a 50-50, okay? The one thing that I'm waiting for today is the reaction of the jobless claims numbers that are coming out in about 15 minutes or so. Okay, now remember, as I've said before, that if you look at the stock market, right, specifically the S&P 500 and its counterpart, which is the ES contract, which is a futures contract for the S&P 500, Bitcoin has been moving very, very tightly with the S&P 500. Okay, so if we look at this particular case right here, all right, you could see over here, we had a big rising wedge in the ES futures right here, right? And after that, we broke down from that rising wedge. We're basically testing the middle Bollinger Band on the 4-hour time frame as resistance, okay? In the next several hours, we will get to see how the market opens. We'll get to see how the unemployment numbers come out and how that impacts the market. Now, so far, okay, the unemployment numbers, to be honest, haven't really done anything to the market. In fact, it's actually done the opposite, which is every time the unemployment numbers came out, the market actually went up. Okay, now that's not because the market is preying on the fact that the unemployment numbers are going up. It's just the fact that, you can make the argument the market was heavily oversold in this drop, and it was grinding up, and didn't matter how much bad news came out. It was just the fact that so many people got out of the market. It was much easier to grind the market up and then squeeze out the late shorts and puts that were placed down here, okay? So when you move like this in a market and then finally you break structure, well, that's going to definitely have some impact. Now, it's not going to show right away, but we'll get to see it over the next several days, maybe even several weeks, okay? So what that tells us about Bitcoin is that we're also in a similar structure, which is that all we're really doing is we're moving sideways in this area, as you can see, right? So if I map out the key consolidation period that we're in, all we're really doing is chopping around. We put in a high of 74.70 right there. The low right here is about 64.75. So all we're doing is chopping between those two highs, okay? So for the most part, there's really no clarity on direction, at least for now, right? Even if we drop down, let's just say we drop straight down from here, right? The strong support is this particular area right here. If we push up from here, the strong resistance is right around this area right here. So you haven't really done anything, even if you push up or down from here, unless you start breaking this area or you start breaking this area, okay? So then once you start breaking this key high right here around 74 or 74.50, then we can start talking about 7,600 all the way up to 8,000. If you start taking out this low around 67.25 or so, then you can start talking about 64.10. And if you start breaking 64.10, it should be smooth sailing all the way down to 58.75, okay? Now I know in technicals people wanna know that, well, are we gonna go up or down? If so, how fast are we gonna go down? How hard are we gonna go down? What are the prices we're gonna go down to? That's just not how it works. You know, unfortunately, all technicals can tell you is, here are the levels, you know, sitting between us and resistance or us and support right now, right? And once we start to grapple with that idea and we realize that, okay, well, it looks like we haven't really done anything special, all we're really doing is chopping around, you could simply wait, be patient for these levels, right? Like I said, if you wait for a clean break, or rather, you know, an attempted retest around this area, and if it breaks it, you could take this trade as a long from here on up, okay, towards at least, you know, $7,600 to $8,000. If you wait for this area right here to break, so if price does something like this, it does something like that, breaks down, test that area as resistance, starts breaking down, you can place a short, stop up here, start targeting $6,400 there. And then if that breaks, right, and it tests that as resistance, you could start adding onto your short or shorting right below this area all the way down to 58.75. So again, one level at a time. Unfortunately, right now, it's a bit uncertain. Now, if I were to place my bets on something, here's what I would do, okay? I'd say, okay, it looks like we had a 4-hour bullish engulfing, okay? You know, chances are from here, the fact that we've already spent so much time right near resistance, chances are from here, we'll probably make a push up towards maybe $7,250, maybe $7,300. Now, what happens there might be kind of tough. You know, we don't really know if that's going to actually send prices down or if we're ready for a big push up. Now, as I've said so far, the stock market has really sort of surprised a lot of people, because in the face of bad news, the market has consistently gone up. Just over the last 3 or 4 days, have we finally broken out of this rising wedge right there, okay, and we've started to go down. We've actually taken out, okay, if you look, once this low is placed, you can see higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. What changed just yesterday, right? Or rather 2 days ago? Well, we actually broke that structure with these higher lows that you see. We put in this high and this key lower low as per this swing. So the structure has definitely changed. But now what we want to see, all right, is this high, this lower high with this low, and we want to put in a lower low. Okay, once we define that, it's, I would say it's game on. You know, I would say it's game on in terms of, you know, we're more than likely going down further. Okay, but we haven't quite established that. All we've really done is have one structural move that's changed, which is a high right there, a low. Haven't quite established if we're going to put in a lower high, because all we know right now is, you know, we could go like this, push up all the way up here, right? And you don't want to prematurely trade this, just thinking that, all right, well, we're definitely going down. Now, I've already told my community members in Advantage side that we are short on certain positions in the equity markets. I have certain longs on commodities as well. And we have a position in oil as well as a Forex trade. Okay, so all these things we tell our Advantage members, you know, well beforehand. And you can see our Forex trade actually. Let me show you guys real quick, and just so you get a hang of it. So here's our Forex trade, right? So we entered right there all the way up here, and just this morning we actually hit our target profit right there. Boom, you know, that was an easy from here down, all right, right there. That's a 0.9% move. Okay, that's a perfect, you know, nice little couple hundred pips. How many pips is that? I think it's about I think I would say about 1,000 pips or so. Okay, So fact of the matter is, I mean, we made a fantastic trade in this euro dollar trade, okay? And you can see that right here. And we can show you our Forex updates, all right? So here's our Forex update, and I could show you guys when we got in as well, you know? See here. So we got in, that's the dollar ZAR trade. Where is it? Somewhere around 1087 right there, okay? And then we saw a breakdown and breakdown further, all the way to our target just today, as I just showed you, right? So our community got multiple opportunities to get into this trade. I let them know exactly what I'm doing. So fact of the matter is, we trade Forex, we trade equities, and I can show you guys our equity updates too, okay? Here's our equity analyst, Faisal, and he gives you guys fantastic daily updates to show you exactly what he's looking at. He even lays out levels like this, the leaders that he's looking at, it needs to hold above XYZ level. Even the indices right there, they need to hold above a specific level to stay bullish. If they break down below a specific level, they're bearish. You know, all this information is very valuable because remember that we're coming into a phase of crypto where crypto actually doesn't really move by itself. Okay, it's predominantly, you know, geared by how equities move. Okay, and if you don't know anything about equities, you're kind of screwed. You're kind of just, you know, blindsided by movements that you see in a stock market, where you would have understood why Bitcoin is moving the way it did based on what's happening in the stock market. And we provide that information for you in a very succinct manner with levels to watch. Okay, so I hope you guys come join Cryptosomniac, our Advantage membership. Like I said, we've changed our name, okay, from Cryptosomniac to Alpha Trades, as you can see right there. All right, we're really here, as we have our model right there, we're here to empower aspiring and experienced traders. Okay, Faisal and I have been doing this for a while, but we want to show you guys exactly how we trade in different asset classes, and how we assess the market and try to get in and out of our positions. Okay, so I hope you guys come join, and you can go to the Cryptosomniac website still, hit the products page, and join the Advantage membership, because starting May 5th, we're going to raise the rates because, like I said, we have equities analysis, Forex analysis, commodities like oil right there, and then options analysis as well. Okay, so aside from crypto, we have a ton of other things that we do, and if you want to come learn how to trade those other markets, you have that with us. Okay, you have that with us because we trade these markets every day. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the analysis. So like I said, 4 hour, you know, that bullish engulfing looked pretty good, and you could see, you know, price pushing up a little bit. I want to really see how the equities markets open in about an hour. But here are some things that I found out, you know, which are really interesting, right? If you look at the consumer sentiment in America right here, you can see it's completely just dropped off over the last several weeks, right? Even personal finances, you know, most people's expectations are down a lot. You can see a lot of people who thought they would be better off are far fewer now. The people who think that they will be worse off in the next, you know, several months, as you can see, the 12-month expectation, they think they will be worse off. Okay, so the fact of the matter is, you know, people asked me, excuse me, yesterday that, you know, what do you think about the way the market is going right now? People getting money from the government. Do you think that this will be a positive impact on the equity markets or Bitcoin, or do you think that it'll be negative? Well, I personally think that it's not going to matter. Your $1,200 check that you get from the government does not move markets in any way. Okay, it's sad to say, but it doesn't. The real people who move the markets are the bigger players with billions of dollars. Okay, so unless those $1,200 specifically go to one stock or one asset specifically, and all the $1,200, right, you're not going to see a significant movement. All right, so the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, you know, the fact that people are already losing jobs, they have to take care of, you know, how they're going to manage their finances for the next several months due to layoffs, due to you know, the struggle in the economy. I'd probably say that money will more than likely be used for their own well-being, right? I don't think there's going to be a majority of people out there thinking, when can I buy Bitcoin with my $1,200? I think they're thinking, I need to be able to pay my rent, pay my utilities, pay my bills, put food on the table, etc. Okay. So I think fact of the matter is, I really don't think that those people with the $1,200 checks are going to be important at all in these markets. Okay. What you really want to pay attention to is how the market moves over the next several days, several weeks. Okay, given even the bad news that's coming out today, which is the unemployment numbers, which are projected to be anywhere between 4.5 million and 5.2 or 5.3 million. Okay. Aside from that, I mean, you could see right here, even job postings have declined substantially, and virtually no field has been spared. Okay, this is from Liz Ann Saunders. So you can see right here, across the board, I mean, everyone has taken a hit, right? Whether you're a dentist or you're a civil engineer or you're in sales or you're in software development, okay? Everywhere, okay? So it's really sad to see, but, I want you guys to pay attention to these things. And the reason I retweet these things and I read these and summarize these for our Advantage members is because you need to know what's happening in the real economy. You need to open up your mind outside of what's just happening in Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is largely impacted by the surrounding environment. And the people who say that, well, it's still not correlated, or, you think that Bitcoin is still going to have its halving effect and it's going to go up, I just don't see that. Okay, it might move up a couple $100 here and there, but I'd probably say in large part, it's all priced in. Okay, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin revisits at least 4,000 or the $3,600 lows, okay, at some point. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be, a week from now or a month from now, but I think it's more than likely that, it has a chance to do that versus moving up against the grain of the traditional markets, which I don't think that's possible anyway, okay? So, I've laid out the game plan. I've told you guys time and time again, be careful in these markets, be careful of people who keep feeding you the garbage about, well, the halving is coming up, and Bitcoin historically has moved up right near the halving or after the halving, but it doesn't matter, right? Bitcoin has never had a bear market to face. Okay, if you look at this trajectory right here, okay, and I'm going to show you guys this. Let's do it on a weekly scale. Okay, all right, so let's do this. Let's do a line chart. Let's throw on BLX, okay, which is the 10-year ticker for Bitcoin, right? Let's see how that is. Okay, so you can see right here, okay, for the last several years, all right, let me move this down a little bit. Okay, so here is, let me see here, it's very hard to fit this all on a chart. You can see right here from 2008, 2009, right? That was the real recession right there for the S&P 500, okay? And Bitcoin was basically born, just a little bit after that. Let me see here. So that was a recession. That was when, Bitcoin was essentially born or brought onto exchanges. And so for the last 10 years, right, you can see Bitcoin has consistently gone up and up and up. And I'm going to turn BLX off because I want to illustrate a point. Okay, so let's turn BLX off, and then let's look at the S&P 500. Well, in that same time span, okay, what has Bitcoin done? Okay, you can see Bitcoin from 2008, 2009, right there, has been on a bullish uptrend, right? It has a 10-year bull run, and Bitcoin has been, glad enough to be on the coattails of a 10-year bull run. You see, Bitcoin itself, it thrives off the global environment having money to put in high-risk assets, right? Because Bitcoin is seen as a speculative high-risk asset. So if we happen to be in a bear market, which we're definitely in, right? But if we make another low, or we keep grinding down over the next several months, or maybe even a year, and it turns into from a recession to a depression, there's a very high chance that Bitcoin goes down much, much further. And I've stated before that I believe Bitcoin can easily go down to $1,500 as its lowest number. And that's because of this, right? If we look at this chart right here, so make it on the weekly, okay? You can see right here, right? This was a previous area right there that was resistance. And before that, this was the previous bull market right here in 2013, right? So in 2013, we moved up all the way to 1200, grinded down all the way in 2014 or 15 from $1,200 all the way to 150 or so, right? But you can see it tested this area. And actually, I want to show you guys how it looks, right? See, you could see it tested the previous bull run's resistance as support right there. And then it took off. Have we done that here on this previous bull run right there? No, we haven't, right? You can see this is the high of the bull run. So that means that we can go from where we are right now down all the way to the high of the previous bull run, which was around $1,200 or so. And that would be another 84% drop from where we are, okay? So you can see there's really, I'm not saying that, you know, if Bitcoin goes there, it's gonna die. It'll still be alive, it'll be just fine. The only thing that people won't be happy about is their dreams are gonna be crushed because they think that Bitcoin is always supposed to stay above 4,000 or 6,000 or 7,000. But once they see a big drop like this, all the speculators, the day traders, everyone is going to be pushed out of the market because they're not going to know how to deal with such a significant drop after they've already seen the drop from 20K down to 3,100, which was another 84% drop. And from the high to where we are right now, we're still down 64%. So it's very hard for people to understand that we could still drop another 84% from where we are, but yet still be alive and maybe have some potential bullishness left for the next several years. This is what assets have to do over time, okay? If they really want to stay alive, you have to weed out all the leveraged long positions, all the speculators, all the tourists, all right? And right now we have a lot of tourists in Bitcoin, okay? If you have so many people who are putting their $1,200 stimulus checks, you know, into trying to buy Bitcoin, just ask yourself, do you really think that the average person, you know, who is getting a check from the government is capable of understanding when the best price to buy Bitcoin is? Probably not, right? Those people are going to get weeded out of the market easily. They'll probably, once it starts dropping and dropping, right around 50%, you know, they'll already close out their position. Then it'll go lower and lower. Some people will hold on, some people will hold on, they'll close right there, and then more than likely a lot of people will sell at the bottom when Bitcoin hits, you know, $1,000 or $1,200 because it's too much pain for them. Their $1,200 from where they buy right now or even the next several days will have turned into, you know, $200, $300, you know, so they lost a significant amount of their money. And same thing with a lot of people who, you know, either bought up here around 13 or 14K or even 10,500. If you bought it, you know, anywhere between 10,000 or, you know, even 8,000, let's just say you bought around 9,000. From 9,000 down, that's a 88% drop, right? I mean, who can handle that pain unless you're a big hedge fund or institution that is in it for the long haul? And even some of them, remember, they have their investors to you know, talk to. If their investors ask them, why is my portfolio down 80%? Well, they have to explain to their customers that, well, you know, Bitcoin dropped from 7,000 down all the way to 1,200. And who knows, some of those investors might also panic and just say, hey, just get me out. You know, I think this thing is going to go to zero. Just get me out, right? So you have to look at this from a broader perspective of what's happening in the cycle itself, as well as what's happening in the macro picture of the equity markets, okay? So this is why, you know, I urge you guys to come join our community. You can go to cryptosomniac.com, go to the products page, hit the Advantage subscription, and come join us. We have a ton of people in our community. You know, on a day-to-day basis, we always have tons of conversation, whether we're discussing alts, whether we're discussing Bitcoin. We even have actually a poker tournament where we're giving away $200 for the first place and $50 for the second place. Okay, so if you're an Advantage member, you can come join our community, and you can, you know, take a stab at winning this money. All right, so we do a lot of fun stuff in our community aside from, you know, just trading and investing. Right, every day we have these 2-a-day videos where I give evening analysis as well as morning analysis, as you can see right there. And I let my members know exactly what I'm seeing in the market. All right. And on top of that, obviously multiple updates through the day. Okay. So lots of information. You know, there's no day that goes by where we don't have multiple markets to look at, things to look out for, things to warn our other members about, what to stay away from, what to look into, etc. All right. I hope y'all enjoy. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe to our community, folks, and then join the Advantage membership. Hit the products page on cryptosomniac.com. And I hope to see most of you guys in our community. All right. Cheers.